How's everyone doing today?
Doing good.
Awesome. Well, this was a little change in venue. We were supposed to do it in the coffee house, but now we're doing it in front of a pond. But here's the thing with the public speaking world. I mean, you have to be able to adjust, you have to be able to recalibrate, and you have to be able to still execute with the utmost enthusiasm. But that's not what today's speech is about. Today's speech is about a very intricate topic in the social dynamics world. I want to ask you guys a question. Raise your hand if you hate small talk. Okay. So I saw a few raised hands around here. And here's the thing. I understand why, right? It's a very awkward act. Someone comes up to you, they're giving you like these little information, and you're in that case where you have one leg in and one leg out. 1 foot in is like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be rude, I'll still participate. And then the other foot is kind of like, I want to be out of here. And to be quite honest, I used to be that same exact guy. I used to be the guy that would actively avoid small talk in any given situation. And to be honest, it did cost me a lot of social opportunities. A lot. But something changed. A few years ago, I had an internship. And this internship really changed my perspective regarding the whole small talk formula. And when I was able to do that, you know what happened? I went from hating small talk to embracing it. I went from avoiding it to seeking it. How did that transformation happen? Well, it happened because I was able to design a framework. And that's the framework that I want to share with you all today. It was the year of 2012, and I had been shut down by 10 different internships. 10 internships came and said, nope, can't hire you. And I was starting to panic. I genuinely thought that I was going to be spending my entire summer doing absolutely nothing. But the last second, there was this small corporation known as Aerosonic Corporation who gave me a call and said, you know what, Arman? We'll take a chance with you. Now automatically, since this company was willing to take a chance on me, I knew that I was going to work my ass off to make sure that I did a perfect job. I was going to work my ass off. So the first day I go to the job, I'm suited up, I'm looking good, I'm looking fresh, and I walk in, I meet my manager. My manager is a gentleman roughly around this tall, in his late 30s, really enthusiastic. He's really happy to have me here. He grabs me by the shoulders, and he starts taking me around the entire area. He shows me where the cafeteria is, he shows me where everyone hangs out, all the cool stuff. But the most cool part of our little tour was when he took me to my cube. You see, I had a cube in the coolest area. It was right in the corner. Okay, it was right in the end, and it was I call it the hot spot. Okay, the coffee area was right there where everyone would gather, sip their coffee. People would eat right to the corner. That was another hot spot, and the popular manager that everyone knew was right behind me. So I knew that I was going to be popular in no time. Well, my manager drops me off, and now he's telling me, okay, Arman, just do the onboarding stuff, get everything ready, and we'll get you all set up for the rest of the day. So I'm in my cubicle at this point, and I'm doing the whole training stuff. But from the side, I can hear a conversation that's taking place. I can hear one man, and I can hear one woman. And this is exactly how the conversation goes. The man is pouring coffee in, and he's like, so how are you doing? The woman goes like, good. The man responds with, what's so good about it? Coffee. How are you enjoying the weather? The man responds, good. Awkward silence. 15 seconds later, finally the coffee is poured, the man gets the coffee, nice talking to you, and leaves. At that point, I'm not even in the interaction. I'm just sitting in my cube, but I can hear this whole thing going on. And I kid you not, I felt awkward. I genuinely felt really awkward from this entire interaction. I was thinking, whoa, I do not want to be in a position like that. If that was small talk, I want to make sure that I'm never in a position like that. So that day, I made a rule to myself. Arman, you're going to bring your own coffee. Arman, you're going to be chilling in the cube much more, eating by yourself, because the company didn't hire you to be social. The company didn't hire you to be making small talk. The company hired you to be the best engineer that you could possibly be, and that's exactly what I was going to do. Well, within the next few weeks, week after week after week, I was working on the code, scripting projects, refining the system. I was really going out of my way to make sure that I was being the best engineer that I could be. And guess what? I was making a lot of marks. I was making a lot of moves to be a good engineer. It came to a point where my manager came to me one day and he's like, Arman, come to my office. I go to his office, sits me down. He's like, Arman, wow, this is a paper of all of your accomplishments so far. One, you are killing it with the coding scripts. Two, you are killing it just in general. You are by far the best intern that this company has ever had. Okay, yeah. I mean, you're gonna offer me a full-time job? Because I'll quit school for this real quick. But he's still reviewing it, he's still hyping me up, and then he's like, but here's the thing, Arman. Despite all of these accomplishments, not a single person in this office knows who you are. Whenever I say, hey, did you hear that Arman designed the latest script for the project? They're like, who the hell is Arman? Oh, you mean that kid that is always in the cube that never leaves? Oh, yeah, cool, great for him. Here's the thing, Arman, and I know this is your first ever internship, and I know this is your first ever exposure to the real world, but if you want to survive, okay, it's not just about what you know, it's also about who you know. You can become the best engineer in the world, but if you don't know anyone, if other people don't know you, that's a big problem. Arman, for the rest of the internship, I want you to keep on doing what you've been doing with the engineering role, but I want you to be more social, okay? Alright, John, sounds good. I got up, closed the door, and I exited. And I'll be honest, I was pissed. Who the hell was this guy to tell me that I had to be social? That's not what you hired me for. The job description said, be a top-tier engineer. That's what you hired me for, and now you want me to be social and buddy-buddy with people? What the hell is that about? But I'll be honest, behind that anger, Master hurt. Because I'll be honest, I knew that there was some truth to what he was saying. I couldn't be this antisocial guy and still be successful. I needed to be that person that was getting my name out there. In many ways, I was scared. But after that conversation with John, my whole paradigm shifted. I went back to my cubicle, and this time, my focus wasn't just on being a great engineer, but rather, it was about being more social. So instead of designing the perfect engineering system, now I was also going to design perfect social system. My new journey began, and in this journey I was having small talk after small talk. Some of the interactions went well, some didn't go well, some were awful, but regardless, I was able to come back to my cube and I was able to have data that allowed me to find patterns, and from finding the patterns I was able to see what worked and what didn't work. 3 weeks later, I was able to come out with something known as a social filtration system. Social filtration, what? Social filtration system. Now, I know that sounds like a mouthful, but that's what I want to explain in today's presentation. Now, a lot of us, we were never taught how to be social, right? We were just kind of thrown out into the real world and said, figure it out. So what did we do? We throw a bunch of shit in the wall and see what sticks. Now, what does that do for us? We aren't able to properly allocate who certain groups of people are, where they really fit into social labels wise. Well, the social filtration system helps you gain clarity. How does it work? Well, I want you to picture an upside down triangle, okay? And it's broken down into 4 levels. Level number 1, strangers. When I entered Aerosonic that day, I was met with a bunch of level 1s. So what do? I actively create the conversation. Because for the social filtration system to work, you can't be someone that's just sitting in the corner and hoping someone starts convo with you. It simply won't work. You have to be that person that introduces yourself. That's number 1, strangers. Level 2, this is the decision-making process. This is where you decide whether they stay a stranger, because let's be real, there are a lot of weirdos that you don't want progressing, or you decide if you want to take them to level 3, acquaintance. Now, acquaintances are really big for your social network. The more diverse your acquaintance is, the more impactful that your social network will be. You want lawyers, you want real estate investors, you want public speakers, who knows? But you want a very diverse acquaintance network. And from there, once you build a solid bond with the acquaintance, but you build it to a deeper level where the emotions are engaged, now you take them to the final level, friend. Stranger, acquaintance, friend. That's it. That's what your social network is going to be. And that's what your social journey is going to all be about. No more winging it. It's just 3 levels. Well, Arman, this is cool and all, but how do I even get someone from being a stranger to a friend? Great question. The way that you do that is through small talk. Small talk is what allows you to set the foundations for an interaction. Without small talk, you're not setting up the foundations to build up from. What, you think you're just gonna go up to a stranger and ask them, "Hey Billy, how's your sex life going?" They'll look at you like you are the biggest creep out there. So what do you have to do? You have to build the foundations with Billy. You have to gain his trust. You have to break down that wall. And that can only be done through small talk. But how do you do it? That's one of the questions that has plagued us for a very, very long time. Because when you look on the TV, you see a lot of people talking about the weather, the coffee, a bunch of random bullshit. But in reality, there's a 4-step formula that you should do in order to maximize your small talk efforts. How does that work? Well, the first one in the formula is using the name. Raise your hand if you've been guilty of asking someone for their name, but you forgot once the interaction ended. A few people, okay. You know why that was? More often than not, you got the name for formality's sake, but you didn't use it. And when you don't use the name, you forget it. So that's number 1. It was Dale Carnegie who said that the human name is the most important word in their world. And every single time you say the name, you spark an emotional charge within them. And every single time you spark an emotional charge within them, you build an invisible emotional bridge. And that bridge is what is going to build a connection with a stranger. So number 1 is to use the name. Number 2 is to ask questions with the purpose of curiosity and commonality. My coworker showed you that asking random questions to someone is not going to get a nice response. It's going to get a very general conversation, and it's actually going to feel like you're interrogating them. How are you? What do you do for a living? Why'd you do that? That's not going to work. So what do? You approach the interaction with genuine curiosity. And when you have curiosity about another person, what happens is now you're making that person feel important. That's a primal desire every human has. So now that you're not going to be coming off as a creepy stranger, you're going to be coming off as an abundant, authentic individual. Also, you want to search for commonalities. One of the best ways to build rapport is to find similarities between 2 people. So when you have that structure in mind, now you're operating with a certain path rather than going everywhere. Okay? Well, Arman, what if I don't find any commonalities? What next? Doesn't matter. The fact that you are still asking questions in a structured manner, getting to know the person, that invisible emotional bridge is being strengthened. So ask questions with purpose. 3, if the person is cool, if you get along with this person, I want you to exchange contact information. Very simple. It could be through phone, it could be through social media, it could be through whatever. But exchange contact information so you can take them down the social filtration cycle. And 4, believe it or not, this is the most important part, and this is often the most neglected part. Follow up. You'll be surprised by how many people just don't follow up. That's like blowing air into a balloon and not tying the knot. You just wasted your time. In today's busy world, if you don't follow up, you're going to be forgotten really quick. So quick that the whole interaction, the whole small talk process was a waste of your time. So make sure that you follow up and you stay relevant in their world. Alright, so I give you guys a lot of information right now. And one of the best ways to test information is by executing it. So I want you to partner up with a person that you don't know that well. Okay? I want you to partner up with a person that you don't know that well. And we're going to use this 4-step formula. Using the name and leveraging it throughout the conversation, sprinkling in like your chef. 2 is asking questions with the intent of curiosity and to find commonalities. 3, the person is cool, exchange information. And 4, follow up. So let us pair up and begin. Alright, so what did everyone think of the event?
Good, liked it.
So let me ask you something. Nick, what did you learn about Jason? It was your first time meeting, right?
Yeah, it was the first time meeting, and I mean, I found out a lot about his profession, how he got into his field, and how he's structuring deals and running his business.
Wow, and how about you, Jason?
I learned a lot about his dynamic between being an agent and an investor and like how that's working for him.
Wow, okay, so you guys went a little bit deeper today. And my partner was Zach, and one unique thing that I learned about Zach was that we started entrepreneurship on the same month. We both run podcasts. We both do similar services for people, which is very unique because I didn't really know Zach beforehand. Now that alone is the power of small talk. It allows you to really turn a foundational topic into something much deeper. So now I'm going to challenge everyone. I'm going to challenge everyone before next week, okay? I want you to create small talk with 10 strangers, okay? Even though this is a very safe environment where we get to interact with one another, I want you to create small talk with 10 strangers, and rather than see strangers, I want you to see social opportunities. Now from that, you're going to have to go through, collect some data. There will be some good, there will be some bad, but regardless, make sure you are just taking action and moving forward. Now in your journey, there's going to be some bumps, some hiccups along the way, and if something like that happens, I want you to get into contact with me. It's very easy to find me, ArmaniTalks.com, and just submit a form for contacting me. And from there, I can help you design personalized tips in your journey so you can take people through the social filtration system and make them from a stranger to an acquaintance to a friend. Thank you everyone for joining me today, and I will catch you soon.